All right, people, this is part two of why black bodies were consumed literally and figuratively during slavery. So we talked about the literal consumption of black slaves, where their bodies were sometimes eaten, dissected, and more. Then we talked about now we're talking about the sexual consumption of black bodies. Historians have often erased a lot of this history. But this book by the name of The Delectable Negro, it was by Vincent Woodard, digs deep into this. And what he argues is that many enslavers were obsessed with black male bodies, not just for labor, but also for pleasure. And they owned these men completely. And for some, that ownership, you all, turned into an insatiable, forbidden desire. Like, think about it. A system built on white male power, white male dominance. You got enslaved men, strong men, powerful, unable to resist. You got these white enslavers obsessed with that type of control, that type of narcissism, and it would force themselves on enslaved men to break them, to strip them of their masculinity, to make them submissive. This is not about love. This wasn't even about this was not about desire in the way that we think it is today. It was about complete ownership. That's all it was, y'all. The legacy of consumption, how it persists today. Yes, slavery ended, but the consumption of black bodies, it never ended. Let's talk about it, okay? If you think all of this is just history, let me show you how it continues today. Let's talk about black athletes in the entertainment industry. Today, black bodies are still being used for their physical abilities, exploited for financial gain of white institutions. Look at the NFL, the NBA, the music industry. The same way black bodies were used for labor on plantations, they're now being used for entertainment and sports. But you know what? This is the one thing. Whenever they have the what do you call that? When the players go up there to find out what team they're going to play for. To me, in my mind, it reminds me of modern day slave trade. It makes me think of when they go up on that stage. That's the selling block. That's the auction block. And that black young man goes up there, and he's just so happy to be recruited by this white man. And again, I know they're getting paid, and there's nothing wrong. Listen, I understand sports, love sports, but I'm saying what it reminds me of is symbolic, because it's still the white man is wielding and holds all the power to that black man's destiny. Let's go here. Okay, except now, instead of the enslaver, it's a billionaire team owner, like I said, or a record executive making all the profit. The prison industrial complex. Black men are disproportionately arrested, incarcerated, and used as free and cheap labor in a modern day version of economic consumption. The U.S. prison system is just another way of ensuring that black bodies remain valuable commodities. And that is why black folk, we have to teach our children, our black males particularly, that fast money is not the best money, because you're going to end up behind bars. Now, let's talk about fetishization and sexualization of black people. Think about the way black men and women are over-sexualized in media. The way our bodies are exoticized and fetishized and desired, while our humanity is ignored. Oh, they'll watch us perform for them. Hell, you go to the strip club, watch them strip. But will you hire that young woman once she finishes law school to work at your firm? The echoes of slavery's sexual consumption are still alive in how society views and treats black people today. Now, let me say this. I am not blaming a lot of how we are portrayed. Now, it has nothing to do with white folk. A lot of it is just our own fault. I'm sorry. I don't care. Yes, if you're entertaining, you do what you want. But the sexy reds of the world, those are not black female role models. And if those are the only images that some of these other continents and countries are showing of black people, no wonder they think that black women ain't nothing but garden tools. Okay? So, we have a part to play in this representation, how people see us as well. The slaves did not. We, as black people today, we do. So, I wanted to go back. Let me go back. I'm going through my notes, y'all. Going through my notes. Okay. Here we go. So what does it mean We talked about actual consuming. We talked about the economic consumption as well. Um, if you think all of this is just history, guys, again, now do you see how over the years they've just learned to profit from our bodies, profit mentally, physically, sexually, in every way? Hell, they even use the Bible. Even the parts of the Bible they took out to read to the slaves, to keep the slaves even more afraid and subservient to them. Man. So, folks, now you know the truth. Now you know. So what will you do about it? We can't undo the past, okay? But we can expose it. We can talk about it. We can break the silence that allows these systems to continue. The consumption of black bodies, whether through labor, violence, or fetishization, is still happening. And unless we call it out, y'all, unless we force history to be honest, unless we demand change, it will continue. So what I ask you all to please, if this history shook you, let it shake someone else too. Send my video to them. Send the first video and this one to them and let them know, hey, or tell them about the book, The Delectable Negro. Let them know about that book so they can read it. See, all they want you to know about Black history is Dr. King and Rosa Parks. They don't want to go further back to 1619. Don't let these stories go buried again. Our labor, our creativity, and our bodies as Black people should belong to us and not to be exploited for someone else's gain. It just got to stop, you all. And most importantly, we got to stay awake, y'all, because the system relies on us being blind to the ways we still are being consumed. So leave some comments for me so I can know just what you're thinking. Let me know how you feel about all this. I honestly, when I was doing my research, I wasn't surprised to know the human consumption that they did with men, Black people, but it's really sad. It's really, really sad. So again, thanks for watching. Continue to like, share, and subscribe. If my teachings bless you, if you want to give to me, you can buy a sister some coffee, leave a kind word, but just let me know what you thought about this part 1 and part 2 teaching. My next teaching is going to be on the same line, but it's going to be about Nat Turner. Somebody you all need to know about. Oh, by the way, not only Nat Turner, he led a revolt. They flagged him, and they skinned him, they beheaded him, they dismembered him, and then they rendered him, cooked him in grease. Yeah, that's American history for you. Stay tuned. Next video.